Talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved.
Hey guys, Brad here with another breaking news video. Some people in mainstream media are having a psychotic break. I really don't know how else to describe it. The bizarre coverage and conversations that have been unfolding over the last couple of hours since late last night are just really a new low, honestly. I'm going to show you a couple of clips that left Scott Jennings of CNN with his jaw on the floor because of the things that some of his fellow CNN panelists were saying. It all comes in the context of authorities just releasing some of the text messages between the alleged shooter of Charlie Kirk and his lover, who identified as trans, was a biological male. And it's like there's text along the lines of, I want to protect you, my love, and all this. And like, I just see the ravings and ramblings of a madman, and I have no sympathy for this person because he's an alleged terrorist and murderer. But others seem to be touched by the love story and this young love-struck kid. You can't make this up. Listen to this exchange between Scott Jennings on CNN Newsnight last night and Montel Williams, the political commentator and talk show host. Listen to this.
Talking about a love-torn child, a kid. This is probably his first real relationship, and somebody was disparaging the person that he loved. He sat on that building for 30 minutes before he took the shot. Why did he wait until the first word trans came up? Then he took the shot. You think he heard it? He could hear it? I think he could hear it. I think he also, I don't believe he was motivated politically. I think this was motivated emotionally.
Guys, the evidence here is overwhelming. He said, Charlie Kirk, I can't stand this hate anymore. I'm going to take him out. The testimony from him and the statements of his family, he had become more left-wing. He etched the statements that are made by the left about Republicans and conservatives and Charlie Kirk fascist on the bullet casings.
He made a joke about it in his last text.
Well, it doesn't sound like a joke to me because someone's dead and about to be buried. Well, so it doesn't sound like a joke to me. So I'm just telling you, there was an effort all weekend long on the left to try to make this guy sound like he was a conservative. That failed. That was passed around all over the weekend. That has now failed. The evidence has now come out. He was motivated by hate. He was motivated by left-wing radicalism. He got mixed up with some trans ideology in his life. We'll learn more about that, I'm sure, when more evidence and testimony comes out. We are looking around the edges of this for something other than what's staring us in the face. Left-wing radicalism got this kid. He went up to a roof and he murdered our friend, and that's what happened.
So I have my disagreements with Scott, but in this clip, I'm honestly stunned by his composure because I think I would have crashed out. I think I would have lost my mind. What do you mean? You're describing the alleged terrorist and murderer who's 22 years old as a lovesick kid. This is a grown man who just committed an act of political terrorism that has shocked and horrified the country. An assault on free speech, an assault on democracy. And because he sent cutesy texts to his lover, you're going to say, oh, he's just a love-struck kid. What? Why are you romanticizing this? Why are you like twisting yourselves in pretzels to make this person, to like humanize this person and make them seem, you know, like, oh, he just had love in mind. I don't even think this motivation was political. It was about protecting his love. Yeah, that's political when you target someone for their socially conservative positions on gender issues. There's no protection. Charlie Kirk wasn't going to hurt this person's partner. That is the deranged mental gymnastics of a terrorist, not something you should be doubling down on and affirming live on CNN. Like, we've lost the plot here. Something has gone hopelessly astray. This is deranged commentary. I'm genuinely a little bit shocked by it. My standards are low, but they somehow seem to go under the bar every time. It's like a game of limbo that never ends with some of these people. It's genuinely shocking stuff. I'm going to show you another clip featuring Montel Williams. It's totally incoherent, but first, do make sure you're subscribed, like, comment, yada, yada, yada. Now, listen to Montel Williams kind of mock Scott Jennings to his face. Listen to this.
Can we, for 1 second, understand that as we continue, Scott just got all angry, got real mad. Face it, it's got to be this, it's got to be this, it's got to be this. Why can't we have a discussion about how long is it going to take for us to figure out a way to come back together?
Just to be clear, I am angry.
Can we just let him finish?
I am angry.
Scott, I'll let you
because
talk.
I knew it.
Scott, I'll let you talk in just a second. Go ahead.
Could we spend as much time figuring out how we bridge this and come back together again? You know, I used to have a note on my producer's desk when I did my show that was said, we don't belabor what happens, we try to figure out why it happens and come up with solutions. Right now, all we're doing is belaboring what happened over and over and over and over again. We're not going to sit down and try to figure out how do we stop it.
Is this guy okay? Like, what did he take before coming on air? Because he's saying, what? He's mocking Scott Jennings for being angry about the murder of his friend? Yeah, no duh. Why? How would you not be angry about that? That's totally normal human reaction. And he's saying, why are we just belaboring what happened? It hasn't even been a week since the greatest act of political terrorism in recent years. And you're saying we're belaboring it. Yeah, that's kind of how news cycles work. When something really profound and tragic and important happens, people talk about it for a while. And that's a bad thing. And I'm open to the idea that he says that, like, we need to figure out how are we going to come together? How are we going to move past this kind of thing? But I'll give you a hint, not by mocking Republicans to their face who are emotional and upset about it. Like, what? How does that just fly? How is that just cool? That's fine. Now, how are we going to come together? Republicans all mad. Now let's come together. You not see how incoherent that is? To be engaging in disparaging political rhetoric while calling for unity. I feel like I'm going crazy watching this. Do y'all feel how I'm feeling, or am I the crazy one? Let me know, okay? And then there was more denial. You got to put this clip in the category of denial. The host, Abby Phillip, who I like. I've been on this show. I like her. I give her all the credit in the world for genuinely hosting a diversity of viewpoints, something so few people do in mainstream media. But I found this next clip where she went back and forth with Scott very frustrating. Listen to this.
We have to kind of, the internet is not real life.
Everybody here acknowledges that there have been thousands upon thousands of people, ordinary people, who have taken to social media to celebrate this, yes or no?
I don't know about that.
You know,
I don't know.
I have high school friends who are.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I just think we should we got to be factual about this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you know the scope. I don't know the scope. But I do think that we have to distinguish between random people in the world and something that is a dominant issue.
Because the person who shot Charlie Kirk was a random person in the world, was he not?
Well, here's the thing.
That's the danger. You dismiss the random people of the world. They have access to weapons
assassinations
and
in
hateful
this country.
motivations.
There have been political assassinations in this country before, Scott. Wouldn't you agree? And they're all reprehensible. And in this country, do you believe that in those political assassinations in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, assassination attempts, that there were no Americans who cheered that on? I think the question is whether or not it happens. The question is whether or not we need to place that at the very center of our political world right now and categorize half the people in the country according to those random people that we now just happen to see because of the internet.
Wow. So denial is not a strategy, folks. Or as I often say, Delulu is not a Solulu. And when Scott puts forward a objectively true factual statement that thousands of people have celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder publicly, they all go denial mode. Well, we don't know that. You don't know the scope. Yes, we do. We have eyes. We can see. I've personally, at this point, probably seen thousands, if not hundreds. And more importantly, what I have seen is literally, I've seen videos celebrating the death that have hundreds of thousands of likes and shares just on a single video. So I actually think Scott could have gone farther. If I was at the table, I would have said, you could actually say with confidence that millions of our fellow Americans have celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Now, I would absolutely acknowledge, and I have over and over again, that most mainstream Democratic elected officials, most mainstream media pundits have condemned this. And thank goodness, although that is the bare minimum. So it is not accurate to say like, oh, the whole left, all Democrats celebrate this. But if you're in just utter and sheer denial, if you don't acknowledge the fact that there are millions of genuine people who did cheer and celebrate this, and we should talk about that, that probably the fact that millions of our fellow citizens openly celebrate terrorism is probably newsworthy, actually, I think. It's actually pretty important. Like, I don't know how to tell you that. And you are in utter denial if you think it's just a few crazies we only know about because social media exists now. It's far more pervasive than that. And we've seen this in polling from the Rutgers University and the Network Contagion Institute that found majorities or pluralities of left of center respondents to polls said that the assassination of Donald Trump or Elon Musk could be at least partially justified. So it's too early to have polling on Charlie Kirk, but like similar polling has found this to be a more widespread sentiment. It's not just a few TikTok crazies, and that is denial. And frankly, it feels like gaslighting. I don't know. I find it to be really frustrating as somebody who covers the internet and is very fluent in this, how this stuff works, how quick people are to dismiss the single biggest platform, TikTok, where Gen Z gets their news and information as, oh, it's just TikTok, just a few people, just crazies. No, you're in denial. It is literally an entire news ecosystem full of millions of people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. You have to grapple with that if you want to address it. If you want us to not be that kind of country, instead you're just denying it and just burying your head in the sand. I find it to be really remarkable. And I once again commend Scott Jennings on his patience, because I might have crashed out a little bit on that panel. I really would have. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below of all of this. Can you believe the tone and tenor of this CNN panel? Make sure you subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments of these kind of quick hit style videos. And do hit that like button while you're at it. And we will be back with more content real soon, guys.